Welcome everyone to my channel. This is Facts Over Feelings. This is your boy Chris, who will be coming to you with all the hot-hitting topics every once in a while. But as you'll see shortly, there's a clear purpose and reason that I wanted to really create this show. And I wanted to make sure that I had a dedicated space to talk about some of the most important topics in our generation as it currently stands right now. So, with that being said, I'll just kind of dive right in. I want to do a few things today. One, I want to tell you what the channel's about, what it's not about, and then I want to kind of get into my first few topics for you, and hopefully you can leave thinking. I'm not trying to change any opinions, right? So let me rewind there. But what I do want people to do is I want them to think critically about the things that they're seeing, that they're hearing, and make more informed decisions. So, with that being said, we'll kick it off, and I'll just tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about the channel. So, I mean, if you think about this, do you ever feel like you don't know what's real anymore? Like every conversation is either an echo chamber or a shouting match? Yeah, me too. And that's exactly why I started this. For me, I've always wanted to create. I've always wanted to lead. I've always wanted to speak the truth. But until now, the opportunity just never lined up. So if you think about today, we have more information than ever, and yet people still follow the loudest voices instead of the most authentic voices, right? I think of it this way: if I can capture even a sliver of that attention and shift the narrative for the better, we all win. We all win, right? So, what is facts over feelings? It's simple. The truth. It never goes out of style. This is a blend of culture, fun, and facts, all delivered with zero fluff and zero fear. Now, look, I'm not about to pretend I'm wildly different from anybody in this space, right? But I'll say this: I'm a regular guy doing regular things. Last weekend, I was at my daughter's soccer tournament. Young it was the World Cup. So if you're looking for some out of touch hot take factory, this ain't that. This is for the critical thinkers, for the people who like open minds and open debate. It's for the folks who want the facts but don't always have the time to dig through the noise. It's not for the one truth fits all crowd, because here, and it's one of my favorite lines, you'll hear it a lot. Two things can be true. Said it to my wife, and she hates it. And we'll get into that a little bit more in just a bit. Now, look, I got a lot planned. I want to do some giveaways. I want to do interviews. I want to do merch drops, live community events. But we do this together. The first goal, 4,000 followers, then 10K. And every time we hit a milestone, I'm giving back. Raffles, apparel, more. So why stick around? Because when the world's yelling, we slow it down. When everyone's picking sides, we speak facts. And when people fake it for clicks, we stay real. That is facts over feelings. This is facts over feelings. But before we get to it, if you like what you're hearing so far, make sure you click the like, subscribe, and alert bells to help the channel out. So I want you to think about this for a second, right? And I think about how we live our lives and how life more so now than ever has become more binary, right? Everything is essentially a bet at this point. So let me say something that fires people up. You don't have to pick a side, not in politics, not in sports, not even in culture. But we've been trained to believe you do. It's either or. You're either red or blue, MJ or LeBron, a patriot or a problem. It's tribal, it's lazy, and worst of all, it's fake. Let's start with the MJ versus LeBron debate. I have this, I'm originally from Cleveland. I moved to Chicago. I'm starting to pick up roots with different friends here. And this shit comes up a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. Almost to the point where you wouldn't think this debate would come up. But, I'm from Cleveland, so obviously I'm a homer a bit. And then I live in the area where Chicago literally made it a media frenzy in the 90s. So, with that being said, you bring up LeBron and someone immediately yells, 6 rings, or he left Cleveland, or he always needs a superstar. Okay, I'm not going to argue that. That all might be true. But let's be real. He didn't win shit without Scottie Pippen. And when the Bulls front office fell apart, Jordan was like, I'm out. I retired. LeBron's been to 10 finals. He's got 4 rings. Both can be true. Jordan can be the GOAT, and so can LeBron. It's all subjective. But instead of celebrating greatness, we spend more time tearing the other guy down to prop up our favorite. It's wild how allergic we have become to nuance. This isn't just sports, though. And that's why this channel exists, by the way. Let's go to politics, where the nuance goes to die. We can all admit the border is broken, but can we also agree that there needs to be a better path to asylum and maybe a path to citizenship that doesn't take 20 years? Or how about guns, for example? Gun violence is the #1 cause of death for children and teens. So if I say we need to reduce gun violence and we need to protect the Second Amendment, am I wrong? No! 2 things can be true. But if you say that out loud, people act like you kicked their dog. Now, here's something on a lighter note. If you can't relate to that because you're not all the way there with me yet, just think of it this way. You can be married, be faithful, love your partner, be a fantastic parent, and still find another person walking down the street attractive. What does that mean? Does that mean that you're a bad person? Or does that just make you fucking human? Just asking for a friend, right? So that's the way I look at it. Now, let's talk about what really exposes all of this binary thinking. It's gambling. We don't just bet on sports, we bet on everything. What's the biggest betting market in the world? The stock market. And people act like it's the economy, but it's not. Think of it this way. Wall Street is completely detached from Main Street. Think about that. Wall Street is completely detached from Main Street. I hear friends, they're always talking about, oh, the market this, the market is that. But think of it this way. Consumer sentiment is at its lowest level since 1978. But the market is on a roar. Why? Because we're on gambling vibes, not outcomes. People are placing bets on Jerome Powell lowering interest rates like it's a damn parlay. You got folks out here using Polymarket to predict if someone's going to get pardoned. Think about that. We are literally making bets on an app like, is this person going to get pardoned or not? It is the culture that we live in. And now we switch back. Let's go back to the sports side of things, right? Tell me the last time you watched the game and didn't check the betting lines first. We're not watching for the love of the game. We're checking props and totals. It's not appreciation, it's speculation. Binary thinking is killing people's ability to grow. It's stopping real relationships. It's keeping people from learning. You say one thing that sounds like the other side, you're out, you're canceled, you're done. You're either with us or you're against us. And if you change your mind later, now you're fake or you sold out. No one even asks why. No one stops to think, maybe you learned something. Hell, I say binary thinking, and half of y'all probably think I'm talking about pronouns. That's how broken we are. We can't even say words without them being hijacked by tribal culture wars. And if that's where your brain went, ask yourself why. You don't have to pick a team. You can like MJ and LeBron. You can think Democratic leadership is whack, but agree with some of their policies. You could think Trump is hilarious and charismatic, but also not someone you want running the country. You don't have to be all in on either side. You just have to speak your truth unapologetically and make sure it's rooted in facts. So here's what I want from you now. What's one thing you believe where two things can be true? Drop it in the comments. Let's make a nuance normal again. Let's keep to that. Let's make that a slogan. Make nuance normal again. Because real thinking doesn't come from tribes. It comes from, you guessed it, truth. So that's kind of a teaser of a segment, right? I thought it was okay, right? Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're rocking with me and you feel like this could be something that you really latch on to. But before I go into my next segment, again, if you are rocking with the things that I'm saying, please hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells. Again, I'm trying to get the algorithm. I'm trying to get to 4,000 followers. I want to amplify the voice. I want to amplify the movement. And then, one of the other things I want to call out, I'm looking down because I'm seeing it on my screen, but I do have apparel, right? This is the Facts Over Feeling official brand. I have the store, www.factsoverfeeling.com. You can order. I got hoodies, I got shirts, I got a few different designs that you will see me wear from time to time. Generally, I will be laced up with my apparel on the show, but I just want you to know that, right? So with that being said, I want to get into my next topic of the day, and this has been something that's really bothered me over the past few weeks. And the reason it bothers me so much is because I feel like I'm a person that is more independent thinker. I think, growing up in a minority household in the inner city, obviously you would think that we come from Democratic roots. And yeah, I do think that in essence, that is where I was kind of my politics was grounded in. But as I grew up, evolved, got different jobs, started making different money, getting different brackets, so on and so forth. Um, it wasn't always so cut and dry for me, and it made me feel uncomfortable at times. But with that being said, I think about a lot of the things that I hear right now is how people are outraged at the administration for all of the things that they're doing. But on the flip side, they're like, yeah, the Democrats suck. And so I kind of want to dive into that for a minute because I think there's a lot more to Democrats sucking than we realize, right? And I'm going to give you something to think about here, right? So let's just be honest. If Democrats keep winning in the polls, why does it feel like they keep losing people? And what I mean by winning in the polls, I'm talking about policies. I'm not talking about, general electoral ballots. I'm talking about just pure policies. They've got the stats right. So what's the problem? It's simple. Vibes. They got good policies, but terrible delivery. Like, let me give them credit first. Overall, you see that Democrats do invest in people. There's no doubt about that. I think if anything, and where they're probably criticized the most, is they invest too much into people. Um, and as an American, that's actually a real sad thing to say that a political party can invest too much into people. But I also understand that we live in a quote unquote meritocracy. We live in a capitalistic economy. And what that means is you work for what you get. And so there's this perception that, Democrats want to give to the people that are not working. I get it. Is that 100% true? Absolutely not. But we've let that opinion take things over. But some of the things, if we want to talk about and be specific, you think about higher minimum wage. You think about Social Security. You think about Medicare and Medicaid. You think about infrastructure investment. You think about commitment to labor unions. You think about consumer protection, right? You think about the push for universal health care. We're nowhere near that, but it's just something, it's a concept that's out there. You think about human rights across the board. It's a long list. And if you're being honest, the logical takeaway is this: they believe government should help people. So why doesn't it land? Because the delivery is stale. It's real stale. Too many of the top Democrats walk around on their high horse talking like they've been in DC since the moon landing, and people are tired of the status quo. Republicans, like it or not, have rebuilt their entire image around firebrands with charisma. They're in the media constantly because people want to hear from them. Now ask yourself, when's the last time a Democrat went viral for saying anything real, right? I'll wait. I mean, if we want to talk about AOC or Bernie, right? But AOC and Bernie are also ostracized from the majority of the Democratic Party because their views are considered too socialist, right? That's the reality. But I'll wait on anyone else. Think about the election. Kamala Harris had serious momentum at one point. Trump was scared, but she lost it. Why? Because she stopped being believable. It's really that simple. She didn't evolve. She didn't get more raw. She just kept repeating the same scripted lines over and over. Campaign rally to 60 minutes, same stuff. And people tuned out. You know who still does connect? AOC and Bernie. We see them doing this fucking anti-oligarchy tour all around the country, and there's thousands and thousands of people that are showing up, right? Because it's raw, it's authentic, it's real. You don't have to believe in what they say. I don't have to agree with everything that they say, but I believe that they believe it. You can hear it, you can see it, and most importantly, you can feel it. So let's be real for a second, right? Can you picture Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer on Joe Rogan? Nope. Why? Because they come off lame. Politics is now personality driven. It's who would you grab a beer with? There is a cool factor to politics now. And yes, you can thank Trump for that. That's the Trump effect. He turned politicians into brands. Do I think it's sustainable long term? Absolutely not. But right now, you have to win the moment. Republicans don't overcomplicate it. I'll give you some examples. Lock her up. Build the wall. Stop the steal. Make America great again. Make America healthy again. You hear it and you remember it. That's the point. Like, it's so simple, you don't even question it because you're rallying, you're not reflecting. Meanwhile, Democrats out here still trying to test language in focus groups. Let me just pause for a second. My wife is Hispanic, and one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy is when I hear Democrats say, the Latinx population. I don't know one Hispanic person that wants to be called Latinx. I don't know if I'm going crazy. I don't know, but sometimes we just make up shit. We make up new groups. I won't even say we, because I didn't make that shit up. But Democrats do, and it's just weird because they're trying to be too politically correct about everything to the point where it makes everyone uncomfortable about everything. And I didn't even get to the biggest issue yet. The biggest issue is Democrats are playing defense, not offense. They're constantly explaining themselves. Why? If your policy is good, own it. Show people how it impacts them personally and just paint a picture. Tell the story of why this matters, not just the data. Make it cultural, make it emotional, and most importantly, make it real. Here's what I want people to walk away with. Stop putting all your faith in who's saying it and start focusing on what's being said. We've given too much power to politicians and not enough to ourselves. We have the vote, We have the voice, but we're too busy arguing over identity politics to use it. Think about this. Every time something goes wrong in the current administration, what's the fallback move? Let's start shouting about culture wars and identity. And why does it work? It's simple. Because we let it. So here's the challenge. Start listening to the message, not just the messenger. Demand clarity, demand authenticity, and for the love of all that's holy, don't vote for vibes, vote for values. So this probably won't be my normal show format. It's never easy doing like an introductory, first episode, because you got to introduce yourself, you got to set the tone, you got to have the ability to talk about a few things, and that's what I wanted to do today. That's what I wanted to accomplish today. My goal is to, try to post a few times per week, and I want to hit on the things like sports, culture, politics. Those are the things that run my life, right? Um, and I want to take you on that journey with me. So, with that being said, getting into some of my final thoughts. We kind of covered a lot in a little bit of time, a lot of bit of time. Not really sure if you're still with me to the end. You can tell me in the comments. But we kick things off with why this channel exists. Channel is how you think, and not to tell you what to think. We exposed how binary thinking has poisoned how we talk about sports, politics, and cultures. And we asked the hard question: do Democrats have a messaging problem or just a vibe problem? Um, Everything we're building, it really just comes down to this. You don't have to pick a side. You don't have to scream to be heard. I did get a little hype here for a second, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to be perfect to be truthful, but you do have to be real, and you do have to be rooted in fact, because facts don't flinch, feelings fade, but truth, real truth holds the line. And next episode, we're diving into the one thing no one wants to admit. The media doesn't just shape your opinions, it shapes your identity. You want to be here more for that. And we're talking about echo chambers, algorithm warfare, and how to survive the information war without losing your damn mind. So if you felt this episode, drop a comment, share it. And if you're really about that truth over tribe life, hit the subscribe button. We're just getting started, baby. And don't forget, once we hit 4,000 followers, the raffles and giveaways kick in. Every like, every share, every merch drop entry, that's you investing in something real. This is Facts Over Feelings, where the goal isn't to be loud, it's to be right. And where we don't chase clout, we chase clarity. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you spending this time with me and really just giving me an opportunity to talk and talk about some things that matter to me and matter to the world. So I'll see you all next episode. Thank you.